What's good with the YouTube? You already know Big Flocka with a convicts reaction where I smash, dash, and react. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all those things to help support this channel, as well as hit that bell notification for future fire reactions. And today what I'm going to discuss is these mass shootings that we've had in Texas. And the fact that two of them are of Latino descent. One they're calling a Mexican nationalist, and the other one they're saying is very mixed up. Both these happened in Texas, and both these stories have two different narratives, and it just makes me question sometimes of what the intentions are of putting these stories out there with it that the media has. So I haven't responded to this or done a video on it yet because I wanted to wait to get more information, and it's still not even all out there, man. It's really difficult, man. Now you had first of all, you had the individual. I can't even say his last name, Francisco Oropesha, whatever. I forgot what his name is, Oropicio. You know what I'm saying? Who apparently, what the media first said, there was a dispute over someone shooting a gun in the backyard. A dog was involved, all kinds of stuff. Then next thing you know, dude shoots in the house, and all kinds of different storylines, man. There's been about 5 different stories that I actually read on this. What the media is putting out about him is they've been calling him a Mexican nationalist. That's been the narrative that's been put out there about him in the state of Texas. I find that very interesting, right? He was caught a few days later, you know what I'm saying? There was a little bit of media frenzy about it. 5 people died, a lot of them women and children, and it was a big issue that was all in the media. Okay, that's the first storyline. Now, who, what, where, when, why, I really don't know the facts. It's terrible that any innocent victims would be killed or that a dispute would happen over someone shooting a gun in the backyard and over property lines and whatnot. You know, we're dictating what another person does. You know, I don't agree with any of it. It's a sad situation, is all I got to say. So I will say this. There has to be more to this story than what we know, because I think for someone to take action like that, there must have been a buildup there. You don't just snap one day and decide to shoot into your neighbor's house. There had to have been a lot of things going on in order for that to happen. Okay. Now the second story, the Allen Premium Outlets, which is about 20 miles north of Dallas, I believe. Dallas, very big metropolitan area. Houston as well. All these areas. Texas is a big state. Now, storyline with this. Individual goes, shoots several people at the mall. Kills 8, wounds 7. Now, they have no motive, right? But they were able to reveal journals that discussed his dislike for the Latino women. You know what I'm saying? He was a Nazi. He believed in himself to be a Mexican nationalist. There's actually storylines I've seen out of Texas saying the rise of the Hispanic Nazi. I seen this, I was like, wow, this is not making any sense. You have 2 Latinos with 2 different storylines. One, a Mexican nationalist that they're putting out there in Texas, and one, you know what I'm saying, you're saying he's a Mexican Nazi. It makes no fucking sense to me. This is his hate for his own color and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking in my head, like, wow, and the dude is dark skinned. So I'm hearing all these storylines and I'm thinking, like, man, how do I address this? What is my opinion? What's my reaction? My reaction is, whoa, right? Whoa. Now, when I sat there gathering my thoughts, I thought about it. I said, well, why do we have 2 narratives in the state of Texas with both these incidents a week apart that are pushing 2 different narratives in each storyline? One's a Mexican nationalist. The other one is as they labeled it, a Hispanic Nazi. A Mexican nationalist, you think that's someone who's pro-Mexican, proud of where he's from. He's from the local, you know what I'm saying, homeland and whatnot. Hispanic Nazi, what are you thinking? I'm thinking of some dude that's fucking shaving his head, wearing fucking black jackets and black boots with red fucking shoelaces and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I think sometimes the media will create stories that they want to push out there in hope that people start to plant the seed there. You know what I'm saying? So next thing you know, I don't know, what are we going to see like 6 months from now? A bunch of Mexicans who now think they're Nazis? You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. But you'd be surprised though. This isn't the first time I've heard of someone being what you would consider in the United States a minority, which is anybody that's not white is a label, which I think in about 10 years, the Hispanic communities and Latino communities will no longer be considered a minority. They will be the majority. Um, it just goes to, I don't believe in all these conspiracy things, right? I've never been one of those, but I think it's kind of puzzling that all these factors, they kind of intertwine together. There has to be something outside of itself in these issues that created this scenario. I don't understand what it could be. I don't know. See, I don't like to go on no you know, Alex Jones fucking rant. You know what I'm saying? Where everything's a conspiracy and it's this and that. But I do find it kind of interesting, you know, because for years it was always classified that mostly all these active shooters, except for the Washington D.C. freeway shooters, most of them were considered usually white. You know, a few Hispanics or other races here and there, but mostly. If you notice in the last year, you're seeing more people of color that are being accused of committing these types of crimes. Now, in the state of Texas, which is a very red state, which a lot of people who represent the blue, what I mean by that, Democrats, liberals, are starting to move into, is this just a situation they're trying to create a narrative politically? I don't know. You know, with all the stuff that we've seen on TV, see, I like to think that I'm analytical, and I don't just go off what anything is put out there in the news media. That I like to do research, and I like to do character analysis of a lot of the people who are presenting the news, as well as how they present their cases. And what I've seen from a lot of people in the last few years, whether it would be CNN or Fox News or whatever it may be, is a lot of these journalists have a biased opinion on these matters, and when they're presenting the news, they'll create a narrative or storyline to the one that they feel personally. It's no longer about presenting facts; it's about pushing your agenda. Same thing that you see on YouTube. You know, people aren't so interested in the facts on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They're more into the character, the presentation, and whatnot. And so all this stuff made me kind of think. You know, and I've always been a believer like this, that most of us have to work a 9 to 5, have enough responsibilities that when we go home and we finally have time to tune into the news, a lot of times we don't question the information that we are obtaining. What do you listen to the news for? You want to know what's going on in the world. So a lot of times these storylines you hear, they've been spun to fit a narrative that they want you to hear. Therefore, you believe it without even questioning it. You know, but if you do a lot of research on a lot of stuff that you hear in these news outlets, you'll learn a lot of stuff's fake. It's like I've seen so many stories and videos done, right, by news anchors, journalists, and so forth when it comes to the Norteños and NF. And they got so much fucking shit wrong. You know what I mean? I've heard cops that are supposed to be experts talk on the Norteños and NF. They got everything so fucking badly wrong, you know? And so when I hear these stories, I'm thinking the same thing. Now, let's not forget to give our condolences to the victims and their families and whatnot, right? None of these cases should have ever happened. I'm just questioning, why are these narratives being spun like that, man? You know, for years you haven't heard anything, but the last few years you've been seeing more Hispanics, more blacks, more other races that are being accused of being active shooters. You know, it's almost like a division is trying to be created to create a self-purge. You know what I mean? Let's get everybody separated. Let's bring division. You know what I mean? With that, what happens next? Chaos, confusion. Because when you put so much energy and time into other things, you can't put your time and energy into things that are more important. And there's a lot of things that are more important than some of the issues that are being presented in this country. We should be worried about these other countries right now, the maneuvering that they're doing. You know, we should be worried about our government, the games that they're playing. These are just things that I think when I look at these stories, man, because I don't look at myself as being naive or ignorant. There's some stuff I don't have all the facts and information about, and I just base this upon just common sense of how I evaluate information. But there's a lot of things that leave room to question, you know. And both these individuals had two different narratives that were spun, man. I'm not saying maybe the dude was a Mexican Nazi. Maybe this other dude is a Mexican nationalist. But it's just so... And maybe this individual decided to do what he did based upon the fact that this meant what they quoted a Mexican nationalist. See, a headline, a storyline could create more issues than people realize. It could affect your personal life. It could affect city politics, gang politics, and whatnot. So sometimes as a content creator, we have to be a lot more responsible in what we put out there. You know. Anyways, this is just a convict's reaction. Just some food for thought, man. Tell me what you guys think about it. I'm gone.